Welcome back to Untitled Podcast. I'm Russ Trevor, and I'm sitting in the Kenny Motorsports studio, and across from me is Adam Nielsen. We are back. That's all I got. We're just back.
Yeah. Week 2 in a row, Ravi.
That's good because it won't be next
It's been a while since we've done 2 shows in a row.
No, it has not.
Hasn't it, though?
No. We were pretty consistent, like 2 on, maybe 1 off, 2 on. Ish.
I feel like we do a lot of one-on, one-offs.
No, we don't do it a lot. Not a lot.
I think we do it more than you think we do.
No, I think we do it less, and they just complain really loud.
That's fair. That's probably fair. They've become accustomed to it. They don't complain as much as they used to.
That's fair. They do.
Nah, they don't complain as much
Where's my free podcast?
Like, dude, the first, 200 episodes-ish, we were almost we almost never missed a show.
No, we went almost a year. For sure, a year.
We did over a year. I think we did probably 2 years without missing a show.
I think the only time we had missed it for major holidays, like Christmas.
Yeah.
That was because that just would be a bit
It's
of a
just
challenge.
too much. Yeah. So.
Yeah, now I just do it whenever we feel like
mean,
it.
you get what you get. I don't know what to tell you. It's not my fault.
Yeah. It's not
It kind of is, but it's not.
It's not like we're putting it on Patreon and making you pay for it.
Yeah.
And then not showing
if
up.
you're really that mad about it, then talk to my boss.
Yeah.
Don't talk to my boss. Seriously, don't do that.
We do enough.
Because somebody would.
Yeah, he's not podcasting.
You know what I mean? Somebody would. Somebody would figure out who my boss is somehow.
Or someone that knows your boss. That
I don't think there's very many people that listen that know my boss.
There's enough people that know my boss that listen that if I would make
I don't
joke,
have any coworkers that listen.
You don't know that.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I don't think I do.
You might.
None of them are open about it.
That's until you say something that offends them. Then
I work with a
open.
bunch of kids. So I
that's our main audience.
I have a couple of 21 to 23-year-old kids.
Yep.
And one of them does not grasp that I am not even remotely his age.
No, you're the same age.
That I probably am way closer to his mom and dad's age than his.
No.
I'm 35, dude. That's almost a 15-year difference.
I don't want to have this conversation right now.
If you think about it.
I don't want to have this conversation.
It's kind of a...
I don't want to do it.
But yesterday he's like, have you listened to the new Taylor Swift album? I'm like, no.
Why would I do that?
Do you know who... Seriously, dude?
There's a new Taylor Swift
album?
He's
of all the things... Think about all the things you know about me. You've heard most of my musical tastes. You know how much of a curmudgeon old man I am.
Yeah.
Think about that question. Think about everything you know about me, and then think about that question again. Do you think I fucking listened to the new Taylor Swift album?
Did you even know there was a new album?
No.
I didn't realize that until just now.
I only know this because of him. Right? But some girl that was on iCarly, which I guess was a Disney.
No, it
was a Disney channel.
I thought it was Nickelodeon.
No, it was definitely a Disney channel.
Okay, it was
show.
Disney. I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely
never watched it.
Definitely a Disney Channel show. I don't think she was the main character. I just think she was one of the characters. And apparently she wrote this big tell-all book about how much she hated it and how much her mom forced her into it and all this stuff.
Isn't this the one with the brunette girl and the blonde girl?
I have a slice fucking clue, dude.
I don't remember. No, wait, I'm thinking something else.
I don't have any idea.
I didn't watch any of that shit.
But apparently she wrote this big tell-all book that just came out here a month or 2 ago, right?
Okay.
And he's like, dude, have you read the book by such and such? I don't even fucking remember what her name is. I was like, no, I have not.
I've listened to it on Audible.
He's like, dude, it's such a tearjerker. I was like,
a 21-year-old dude is saying this to you?
Yes.
All right.
He was really upset that he couldn't get Carrie Underwood tickets.
What 21-year-old can afford Carrie Underwood tickets?
For the fair. She was at the fair this year.
Oh.
And
you could probably afford those.
The company I work for gives away tickets.
Oh, that'd be cool.
To every concert.
Wait, you had Slipknot tickets?
No, because they disappear like that.
Oh.
Because the problem is that they send a company-wide email, right?
Yep.
And they go, we have all these tickets for such and such we have 4 tickets for this person and 6 tickets for this person. And like the cheaper the show is, the more number of tickets they have for that show.
Makes sense.
And then everybody who's sitting at their desk waiting for the next email to come in so they have something to do because they're office people, see that and go, yep, I need these tickets. And then when I see it 3 hours later,
They're gone.
They're all gone. The only one I could have gone to this year was it ZZ Top? No, it wasn't ZZ Top. It was
it was one of those bands.
It was one of those bands. And that was the only one that was left by the time I saw the email.
I figured you'd be super excited about that.
No.
Are you going to Journey when they're in town?
I would go to Journey. That would be great.
They'll be at Wells Fargo.
I can't afford Journey.
I don't know when, but I heard on the radio.
I can't imagine that they're even remotely affordable.
No.
But anyway, this kid's trying to talk me into reading this book, right? And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't know who she is, and I could not possibly care less about this girl. Like,
right.
Her existence or non-existence affects my life day to day. 0. Nil.
Yep.
None. Don't care about her tell-all book about how much she hates her mom. I don't care.
No.
Also, don't need to read books that are going to make me, quote unquote, tear jerk. Like, I don't want that.
Have you read The Art of Racing in the Rain? Ed?
That's totally different. That's totally acceptable.
That one, man, it gets you.
I'm sure it does. I haven't watched the movie yet.
The movie's okay.
So
Just didn't get a great budget. But
yeah, well, it's a racing movie.
it's fine.
It's a racing chick flick. Of course it got a terrible budget.
It's because you don't really need a decent budget for a chick flick. They're all the same.
Right.
Here's a $2 million budget. Make
But
the
they're
same
like
movie.
they're like cars, gross. Nobody watches those.
No, it's got a dog in it, though.
It's not Fast and the Furious.
Everybody fucking watches those.
Allegedly.
It just needs to end. It just needs to end.
Do people still go and watch it?
They're making like 11 of them.
I know, but do people still watch them?
They go to the theater and they get like $1 billion on opening night. I haven't seen like the last 3.
I'll probably see the last
3,
5 or 6. How many are they at now?
I don't know.
We've argued about this before.
I saw part. I forced myself through 7.
The last one I saw, and I didn't see all of it,
Was 5.
was the one where they jumped the car from one building to the other.
That's 7.
And I don't know that I ever saw 6.
6 is in Europe. It's got the car that flips them in the air.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. So
Jason, is that the first one with Jason Statham?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the first one without Paul Walker?
No.
Or is the one where no, because he's the one who jumps the car to the other building.
Yes.
So is that the last one with Paul Walker?
Yes, because like the whole movie does that, and then like the end's like a 5-minute montage,
Right, where they
that's the tear
where they
jerker part.
split,
Yeah.
where they split lanes and go separate ways.
Yeah.
On that mountain road, and Charlie Puth plays his piano song.
Yeah. It's a long day
7?
without his friend. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 7, and then 8. I started because I felt obligated, and I shut that shit right off. Yep.
No, I don't
And
feel
I
any
think 9
obligation to these movies anymore.
And then 9 has been released.
What?
Because then they go to fucking space.
I feel like they actually did go. Like that was always the joke.
Yeah.
And then they did.
They did it.
And then, isn't there one
I think
where they do submarine stuff?
I think that's 8.
Is that 8? And then in 9 they go to space, or do they take submarines to space?
I didn't watch 9 at all.
Is there even cars in 9?
I have no idea. And I think there's like 2 10s. I think they're doing like they're doing episode 10 or whatever, but it's like a 2-parter.
Part 1 and 2.
Kind of like what Hunger Games did with their last movie. That could have been like
Wouldn't know.
it could have been 1, but they made like 6 of them.
Wouldn't know.
Yeah. So then I saw something that Cody Walker, Paul Walker's brother, posted that they're going to bring Brian back in one of those last movies. So I basically almost threw my phone when I saw that. I was like, no, we're fucking done here. We can't do it. How do we get here?
I don't know, man.
This is the Kanga Motorsports introduction presented by Kanga Motorsports.
Oh, I was bitching about kids these days.
Kids these days. Yep.
They're the worst.
They ain't no good.
No.
Hey, last week we talked about factory fabrication.
Yeah, the cage.
Yep. So all of our theories were wrong. obviously, because
It's not for dogs.
it's not for. I thought for sure it was
It's
for dogs.
definitely not for human trafficking.
No, that was for sure ruled out right away.
I feel like Booney wouldn't knowingly partake in that.
No, God, no. But yeah, so last week we talked about factory fabrication. Like we always joke about making if you need to get caged or railed.
Caged or railed. Yeah.
So this person did need to be caged. So they built this cage in the back of their big van.
Oh, is it like a Hannibal Lecter sort of situation?
No,
damn.
See, I thought this would be like hunting dogs. You put them in the back, but then
That's a pretty hardcore cage for hunting.
It's awfully big. And then
are they Bigfoot catchers?
That'd be sweet. But no, he put a bunch of logic to it, and he's like, "Have you ever toured as a band member?" Which of course I haven't because I have no musical talent at all.
Zero.
I barely have enough speaking talent, let alone singing talent. But apparently, going to places like New York City, Chicago, as a musician, having your instruments in the back of a van that's not locked in a cage, not the best choice. So once you get your instrument stolen a couple times, you build a fucking cage.
Oh, that's way less fun.
I know, but it's so practical. It makes perfect sense.
It is. It's very practical. It makes a lot of sense, but it's a lot less fun than Bigfoot Hunter.
Yes. But so yeah, if you are touring
squatching.
Squatching? Is that what
Squatching.
I've seen like there's a bunch of documentaries on that, but I've never watched them.
Yeah. Real world documentaries.
Yeah. So if you're a traveling musician and you need to have your stuff locked in a cage, Booney will hook you up. I also appreciate the fact that anytime someone posts in like a local group or Track Midwest, and they're like, who can make who can do cages locally for race cars, and factory fabrication always gets tagged.
Yeah,
I want to be like, use the code 10tenths, but like they're not going to get it.
That guy who posted in Track Midwest, he said he's from Ames.
Yep.
But I did some Facebook stalking.
He ain't from Ames?
I don't know, but
how do we not know him?
He lives in Ames. He's clearly at some level a car guy because he wants a car caged.
Yep.
We have zero friends in common.
What? How's that possible?
Maybe because I'm 35 and he's not, so that might be how he managed it. But
yeah, you'd think at least one. Kids these days,
man, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, if you need to get caged or railed, factory fabrication.
Woot.
Heck yeah, we just jumped right into this. Just some sweet advertising.
We're so good at it too, frankly.
It's so smooth. Like the transitions are flawless. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but like my transitions are top notch.
Okay. There's probably a joke in there somewhere, but I'm just it's not worth it.
No, I'm terrible at jokes.
Should we can I bitch about my Honda?
Sure.
Everybody told me buy a Honda.
Yeah, you never have to work on
It'll
it.
be the last thing you ever buy. I fucking hate this Honda.
No, you don't hate it. You always talk about how perfect it is.
It's
like
pretty high up.
The stow and go seating.
It doesn't have stow and go seating, Robbie.
The Caravan did.
The Caravan did. The Caravan folded flat from front to back. It
God, that'd be nice.
was so good.
So the Honda Odyssey doesn't have stow and go
Honestly,
seating.
like this might be my least favorite daily driver I've ever owned.
Does the Focus count?
Yes,
That counts. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean,
Well, I didn't know that you counted.
I mean, like as a family.
Okay, I didn't know if
as
they
a
counted
family.
as yours.
Like since Katie and I have been together,
Okay.
and I've been providing her transport. Because for a few years I didn't have to be the transport provider.
Yes.
But then now I have to buy the things.
Yes.
Technically, I didn't buy the Focus.
No.
She did.
Yes. And then I did.
Right.
And it has bailed me out so many times.
Well, you put a lot more effort into it than I was willing to put into it.
That is fair. I did do way more than I thought I would.
I was way past that point in my life.
Kind of at that point with a Mini Cooper.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the more you look at it, the more spite grows inside of you, and you're just like the farther from
Yep.
ever wanting to touch it again you become.
Yeah. Then I look at
the
the Z and all the things I want to do to that and all the things we have planned for the NPO1. I'm like, I don't know when the fuck I'm even going to get time to do this. Or care enough to
sell, Robbie.
Somebody wants it. Maybe a fair offer, it's yours.
Yeah. So anyway, to be totally transparent and fair here, I don't think it's so much that I don't like the Odyssey as I don't like this one.
That's fair.
Like I think if I had a good one, It would have been fine, but I don't think I got a good one.
You didn't get a lemon, though.
No, and what's really frustrating for me is that I feel like, so...
This is bothering me. I'm going to fix it.
Okay. I don't know what we're fixing. Robbie's fixing a thing. Oh, okay. My bad. I feel like the van... So the reason I bought this one, the J35 engine that's in there, the V6 that's in those cars.
Yeah, it's got a great flat tune on it just out of the factory.
Straight from the factory. They're great for GLTC.
It's a fucking race car,
That's
man.
what everybody tells me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not in GLTC anymore, but hey.
There's a couple in there.
Well, yeah, but the ones that were so gung-ho for it.
That's because they changed the rules.
But you have to replace the timing belt all the time in them. Like, I don't remember.
Like every 60,000?
Yeah, it's 60 or 70,000 or whatever it is, right?
Okay.
And I really wanted one off the bat that had some timing belt life left on it. And like more than one of them that I looked at that had over 100,000 miles on it. And I'd asked these people, and they've owned it for 10 years or whatever. And they're like, yeah, I don't know we never replaced the timing belt.
That's a maintenance thing.
Okay, well, I'm not buying your vehicle. You know, we looked at 5 or 6 of these fucking things.
I do remember that.
And the one that I bought because he had the paperwork to back up the fact that he had put a timing belt in it like 15,000 miles earlier. And so it still had a decent amount of life left on the timing belt.
Yep.
So because that was like, I don't want to deal with this, right?
It's worth the extra money up front.
Right. And honestly, we didn't pay more for that one than we would have for the other ones I was looking at. And I tried to negotiate on a couple of the ones that we had looked at before a slightly reduced price to offset the amount of money I was going to have to spend getting a timing belt put in it.
Right.
And they weren't having that because, well, it's never been a problem for us. Yeah, it's because when it is, it's done.
Yeah.
It's kaput. Yeah, it's not a problem until it is, and then you're fucked.
Yep.
That motor's junk.
Yep.
So, like, that's not a good argument given the situation here.
No, it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
And we are approaching nothing.
Yeah. Dude, like, some of them I looked at, I'm like, man, you shouldn't drive this home. Like, if you want to sell this, you just leave it right here and don't move it because you might not make it home before that timing belt goes, nah, bro, I'm done.
Nah.
Because you can pop a little access cover.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Yeah, you see it.
Some of those were ticking time bombs.
I believe that.
Like, way too much. So we bought this one, and I knew it had a few problems, but like whatever. Yeah, and it's just been really frustrating.
Just to work on, or like the problems you've had.
So my Caravan, which was a real hunk of shit, and I knew coming into it that was a real hunk of shit.
You got it for pretty cheap.
I got it super cheap, but it was a real hunk of shit. I knew it coming in, and it treated me just accordingly.
Yeah.
You know? It wasn't filled with false promises and hope.
No,
it was just...
my expectations were low, and it met them.
Exactly. And, but like, so it had the power sliding rear doors.
Yep.
But there's an on-off switch for them. And when you shut the switch off, it like completely disengaged the motor. So they just slid open and closed freely like one that didn't have power on it.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
The Odyssey, it has power sliding doors, and you can turn them on and off as well. Huh. But then when you turn it off, you got to like push against the engine or against the motor to open and close the door, and it's so like difficult.
Yeah, super heavy.
But then you're like, oh, well, why would you ever want to shut off? Well, because when it's fucking cold, for some reason, it doesn't work.
Does it like make noise like it's trying to?
No. So it will like start to close, and this only happens when it's cold.
Okay.
You'll start to close, you'll get about halfway, and you'll just say, nah, bro, I'm done. It'll just stop. And then you got to pull it shut the rest of the way. And then for some reason, it doesn't think the door is closed. And so when you put it in drive, this buzzer goes off. And as soon as you flip the power switch, the buzzer shuts off.
So it's like reset the fact that it closed? Oh, weird.
I don't know. So like in the wintertime, you let Logan in, and like 8 times out of 10, the door will close all the way.
It's passing.
But 10 times out of 10, that buzzer won't shut off.
Oh.
So literally what you do is you open the driver's door, you flip the switch to turn it on, you push the door open button, Logan gets in. He can close the door, but then before you put it in drive, you got to flip the power button so that the doors aren't engaged. Otherwise, it'll just beep at you.
Oh.
For hours.
Yeah.
Like
it
it'll
never stops.
Stop. No. And then here a few months ago, the other door started dragging.
Past the driver's side door.
The driver's side door. And you could hear it like, it sounded like something was in, like there was gravel stuck in the track or something. Ooh. And it like just grinded, and it would get part way and it gets stuck and it'd open itself back up. And I looked all over. I like
nothing in the track.
Took it to the car wash and just fucking sprayed the living shit out of it. Ran my finger along the track, felt the wheels. Everything's perfectly smooth.
Yeah.
I put some like
white lithium grease.
Yeah,
in
I didn't
there.
want to get like too crazy because I wasn't sure how it worked. I know more than I want to fucking know now, but I wasn't sure like if I lubed the track up too much, like does that wheel that's in there need traction? And then it won't fucking open and close anymore.
Just sits there and spins.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure how it worked. Turns out it's on a cable.
Oh.
And so it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I didn't know that at the time. So I just kind of like lightly lubed it up a little bit, trying to make
nothing.
Nothing made any difference.
So it's the motor that's grinding?
I don't
whatever's
know.
Controlling it?
I don't know. I have no idea. Still to this day, I don't know. But so then fast forward to the night or the morning that we were going to leave for Heartland Park. So originally my plan for Heartland Park was that I was going to get off work on Friday or Thursday afternoon and go to my parents' house and sleep there, and then get up early Friday morning and drive the remaining 2.5 hours to Heartland Park. And then I got off of work at like 8 o'clock at night or something like that.
Doesn't sound like something you would do.
Yeah, right? And so by the time I got home, my daughter was already asleep.
Yep.
And like, well, I'm not
going to wake her up to go.
Right. I don't really want to get up. Like, I'm better off getting up early in the morning at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to be in Topeka early.
Right. I don't have any specific time I need to be in Topeka, but I'm better off sleeping at home where my daughter's in her crib and she'll sleep better than she will anywhere else.
Yep.
And, I can sleep better in my bed than in my parents' house because their spare bed is fine, but it's not my bed, you know? And so I'm like, fuck it. We'll just go to sleep. We'll get up early tomorrow morning. We'll drive to Topeka. It'll be great. So
solid plan.
Right. So Friday morning rolls around at 6 o'clock so I just left my alarm because we were planning on leaving around 6, which is the time I leave for work every morning. So I just left my alarm on, woke up at 4:30 and did my thing, got ready to go. And we go out and the van's dead. Because Logan likes to fucking turn lights on and off in the back of the van. So there's a toggle switch in there to make it so that the lights are on, or the lights are on with the door, or the lights are off. And usually I leave the lights off.
Okay.
But when we were loading it up, I had it set to on or set to door or whatever so that they would be on because we were loading it up the night before, and then we forgot to shut them off again.
Okay.
So the battery was dead. Sweet. But the way we figured out that the battery was dead was that Katie went to open the door, the power sliding door, so she just pulled the handle, and it opened like 6 or 8 inches and then stopped because the battery died. It had enough juice to open the door a little ways, and then it said, nah, bro, I'm done.
Okay.
So then I jumpstart I put the van on the charger, get it started and running, but now the door won't go any farther.
Open or close.
Open or closed. Like you push the power button and it just wouldn't. It didn't like sound like it was reacting or anything.
Just
you
push
the switch, the handle, and it just acted like you hadn't done anything to it. So then I switched the toggle switch up in the front to shut the doors off so that I could slide it open and closed, and it still wouldn't move. It was like it was jammed or something.
Huh.
And so I gave it a mighty heave, and it literally fell out of the fucking track, and the door fell off of the van.
That's a great way to start the day.
And
plus it was cold.
And I, not real proud of this, but I legit lost it.
Yeah, that'd be enough to just
Like
If
to
that's
the
how
point
my
where
day is starting, I might not even freaking go to grid life. We're done. I'm gonna close this as best I can. I'm going in the house and I'm fucking done.
Yeah, I was ready to just get in my work truck and go to work and pretend that day never even existed to me. Honestly, the only thing that got me there was the fact that I had promised Dusty and E-Man and everybody that my family was coming with.
Yep.
And so then, like, Dusty and E-Man specifically brought their significant others and their children, and I didn't want to leave them high and dry on that.
That's fair.
And so, like, Midwestern shame is the only thing that got me to Topeka Friday morning.
Yep.
So, when the door fell, and when I say it fell off, like, literally
On the fucking ground.
No, so the bottom slider. So there's a slider on the bottom of the front of the door, and a roller on the top, and that roller on the top just sits in a track.
Okay.
And it's not attached to the van in any way, shape, or form. Like, you can reach up there and pull on it, and it'll rock in and out of its track. So, but the only thing that attaches the van or the door to the van is a roller hinge thing on the front leading bottom corner, and then there's a hinge roller thing that the motor and cable system is attached to in the center on the back that rolls in the track that's on the side of the van. And that's what broke. Is from what I can tell, there's supposed to be like a plastic clip. So it sits in a C channel, right? The roller does. And then there's like a thing that hooks over the top of the C channel to hold it in place. And then there's like a plastic clip that when you put it in there and snap it in, then it can't come off again.
Okay.
And when I was jerking on the door, jerking it back and forth, trying to get it to open and getting mad, I broke that plastic clip that holds the thing in, and the whole thing just fucking crashed out. And since the top of the door isn't held in, it just fell.
Oh boy.
And so it just rocked back.
Yep.
And it would swing out at the top of the van really far.
I really wish you would have took a picture.
And
of
it
that.
scratched.
Oh no.
Like deep gouges and dents in the side of the van.
Like the quarter panel?
Yeah. Like a bunch of them. And what we ended, Katie and I, like after I calmed down, which took probably 15 minutes.
I'll say you needed the proper 15.
I was pissed. Like
between that and the body damage,
high levels, like a level of pissed I've probably never been at a vehicle before.
I would have needed a moment.
I was
by myself.
Genuinely unnecessarily mad at this.
No, I get it.
Way more than I should have been. I don't know what it was. Something just fucking snapped in me, and I was like, kicked my trash can over.
Yeah, like walking down the street. I hate my life.
Screaming in the driveway. Probably woke up my neighbors mad.
We've all had those days.
Like, no, I literally kicked my trash can over. Sent trash going flying because it was my recyclables.
I understand.
It was my recyclables can, which is not in bags, they're just in there. Uh-huh. So when it hit the ground and everything flies across, and that definitely made me happier. Right?
So I get it. I mean, I've done that too. Where I've hit my head one too many times under the car, and I throw the wrench, and then it hits the latch of the toolbox, and now that latch doesn't work anymore. So now I'm mad at the fact that I broke that. Yeah.
So when I finally calmed down, Katie came back out, and I got my toolbox stuff out, and we figured out that you can't get that center hinge on the back of the door back into its track while it's attached to the door.
Okay.
So there's two 12-millimeter bolts that hold it to the door. So I took those out, and I'm holding on to this door, which is disgustingly heavy. It is a power window glass door.
Oh, yeah.
So it's got all that mechanism inside of it. It's heavy.
Yeah, that's not a light door.
And I'm trying to hold it up, and it's trying to fall out at the top. So, like, I have to hold it with one hand on the bottom and one hand on the top to hold it in.
Somewhere where it needs to be.
Because otherwise it would try and fall out, or I'd have to hold my shoulder against it. There's just like no good, comfortable way to hold this thing with one hand. And then Katie, because she's nervous and a girl, and
She's not known for her mechanic skills.
No, couldn't get the bolt to line up in the hole, so I had to do that too. And I'm trying not to be mad.
And so
trying not to lose it. Like, she just literally told me to go fuck myself, then take the kids back inside and tell me you can go to Topeka by yourself. The kids and I are staying here. And like, so now I'm trying not to yell at her again, right?
Yeah, because I bet it took some serious coaxing to get her back out of the house. I'm fine. I promise I'm fine now. I'm fine now.
Calm down. It's fine. Let's just fix this door and let's go to the racetrack and let's just enjoy our weekend. Right?
I can just see it and you're like, just line up the bolt. I'm trying.
So finally I took it away from her and I put it in there myself. Yeah. Got it like 2 threads in and then held the door while she ran it the rest of the way in.
Yep.
And we were able to get the door back on there and get it closed.
Yep.
But I was too afraid and nervous to open it again.
Just let Logan do it when you're like 2 hours from home.
No. So we have that has like a child safety lock switch.
Yep.
And of course that's on. So you can't open it from the inside anyway.
Oh, perfect.
And that's the side my daughter is on.
Okay.
So I don't know. We probably could have switched seats, but we didn't really want to. Yeah. But like, she can't buckle herself in, obviously, because she's 11 months old.
Yeah.
So
you're crawling across.
So yeah, we had to crawl across, or like I can reach from the driver's door. I can reach back there and I can unbuckle her with one hand, but I can't buckle her in with one hand.
No.
Especially because she doesn't want to be.
No, she's fighting you the whole time.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be held down into the chair.
She's a child. Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah. So we managed to get the door closed, and I took it around the block to make sure it wasn't just going to like fucking fall off, right?
Yeah,
which was like
the first pothole,
which is like probably a totally like impractical thought.
No, but you've seen it in movies, so it's like it's in your mind,
right?
Like in the movie Vacation.
Well,
that's exactly what would happen.
And, you know, I've been having such a great day already, so like, what's next, right?
Yeah,
the van was dead, and then the door literally fucking fell off. What do you? Now it's going to fall off when I hit a pothole. My child's going to go flying out because somehow her seat's going to come unbuckled at the same time. Because
the best part will be it won't be anytime when you're near your house. It'll be halfway to Topeka, like the most inconvenient place.
So it took us 2 hours to get the door back on.
Yikes.
Yeah. So we left about 8 or 8:30 when I had planned on leaving at 6. And I told Katie that what we were going to do is we were just going to get the door closed, and then when we were at the racetrack, I was going to try and like rally a couple of friends, and we were going to figure out how to fix it correctly.
Yeah,
right?
I ruined that for you.
Yes, you did. I wasn't going to say it, but that's exactly what happened. So Friday night, you were like, well, we're going to swap a transmission. Like, yeah, we are. You're right. I'm not going to argue with that.
Sorry about your door.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, it is what it is. So I did like Friday night before I left to go back to the hotel. I was like, all right, let's try this door. Right.
We got people to help.
Right. So I made sure that the power thing was off so that when I grabbed the door handle, it wouldn't try to open itself. And just slid it open at like enough that I could reach in there and put the kid in the seat and then slide it back shut. And like that works 19 times out of 20.
Oh, that's pretty good odds.
But it still falls off every once in a while.
Is it like if it falls off, you can't like just like shimmy?
No, you have to take the fucking hinge off every single time.
No.
And so I did some research on it this weekend because I wanted to
fix it. Yeah.
Right. Fix it. And so I'm looking online. I'm like, this will be the perfect opportunity for me to use one of these stupid fucking eBay gift cards that I have like 12 of at this point. And they expire at the end of the year. So
you got to use them.
I got to burn them up. And so I'll just buy a hinge. No big deal. Well, the pictures that I found online don't really look like what I remembered the hinge to look like. And Katie took the van to her mom's house this weekend.
Oh.
Because Katie's mom had some friends there and she wanted to go and see them. And like, every time that Katie wants to go somewhere on Friday night, I get stuck at work till 8 o'clock at night or something stupid,
that sounds right? Yeah.
And so she's like, I'm not waiting for you. Because like when emergency work comes in, it always comes in at 4:00 in the afternoon
on a Friday.
Right. And so then by the time I know that I'm going to be stuck at work till midnight or whatever dumb time I'm going to get off work, Katie could have already left by herself. So she's like,
I'll pay all your beat.
She's like, no, because Logan doesn't get off school till like 3:30 or whatever. She's like, you don't really want to go anyway. I'm like, no, I'm not going to say that.
No.
Right? She's like, but you don't really, I know you really don't want to go anyway. You've never met these people before, so you don't care. And I don't want to wait for you just to find out you're going to be stuck at work and leave without you anyway. So I'm just going to go by myself. You don't have to go. Sweet. That sounds fantastic.
Bullet dodged.
Yeah. Which turns out I got home at like 6 on Friday, which isn't too bad for me.
That's not terrible.
But then I went back to work at 8.
Oh, that is terrible.
PM.
Yeah.
And then got back home again at midnight.
That sucks.
And then got called out again on Saturday, and I was out for 12 hours on Saturday too.
Yeah, that super sucks.
Well, so I'm sitting on my couch, and like my phone lights up with an email about an emergency, and I was like, well, I'm sitting by myself here, and
I've only played so much Skyrim this weekend.
Well, at that time, my Skyrim wasn't working.
Oh, no.
I managed to fix it Saturday night. But at that time, I was literally just sitting on my couch like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do all weekend. Like, I'm bored already. And so I was like, well, hours are hours, so I just went to work. And then Saturday, I kind of felt, I was like, well, I guess I'll just take this instead of asking if anybody else wants it first. I'll just take it. Because I'm the only field guy that gets those emails. That's all the managers and then me. Oh. And so I get first pick of it just because
you've earned that right.
I'm that guy, right? So like it's whatever. Fuck everybody. So I just took it because it's money.
I don't blame you.
So, but then I was researching it Saturday evening when I got home, and I found a hinge, but it didn't look right. And so then I told Katie, like, well, I think I figured out how to take this thing apart. I figured out how to correctly put the hinge back on. Because the other thing I was worried about was like how to get the cable off of that hinge. Because the cable pulley system is attached to that hinge.
Right. Probably need a very special tool.
I don't know for sure.
I
haven't quite figured that out yet, to be completely honest with you.
I bet you'll be fine.
But the videos, I watched more than one video, and the guys, I lose interest. You know what I mean? Like, and so I just
I'm not watching a 22-minute video about you doing
how
hinge.
to replace a hinge on an Odyssey. Like,
give me the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So I just skip through it. And these guys, with me condensing down a 20-minute video to 3 minutes worth of view time, those people seem less mechanically inclined than I am. And so if they could do it, I could do it. It's kind of where I'm at on it.
That's how I feel about a lot of things I try.
Yeah. How hard can it be?
I'll figure it out.
I've met a lot of dumb mechanics. They seem to fix it, so it's fine.
They do that every day.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So, but I haven't bought the hinge yet because Katie had the van and I didn't trust the picture, so I wanted to look at the van again and make sure that I was buying the right hinge. And then I just haven't had time since she got back because my life is a mess.
Happens.
So, to remove the trim that covers the channel on the side of the van that roller sits in, you have to remove the tail light, and then there's a 10-millimeter bolt in the back behind the tail light.
Yep.
And then apparently you need like a long-reach Phillips screwdriver, and when the door is open, there's a hole that you can stick the screwdriver in, and there's a Phillips screw up inside there. And then that piece of trim will come off of there so you can see the whole C channel and all that stuff.
Okay.
And then once you're in there, I think it's pretty straightforward.
You'll be fine.
How hard can it be?
Yeah, I believe in you.
There's got to be a place where that cable unhooks.
Yeah,
like
it's got to have a start and finish.
It's not one continuous piece. It's got to have and it probably is on the hinge. I just haven't looked at it close enough to figure it out.
I'm sure it's just like
how hard can it be?
It's not hard, Adam. I believe in you.
I'm sure. So, I don't know. We'll fix it eventually, or maybe I won't. I don't know. Maybe Katie just has to reach over or across from the other side, or I don't know. It's the worst.
Yeah,
I hate cars.
That's a super frustrating thing to deal with. And yes, I also hate cars.
I just need stuff to work, you know?
Yes.
I realize that like buying a 2007, but like what do you want from me? Like,
but still,
cars are expensive.
now is not the time to buy.
No. That's what was frustrating is like, if I'd have bought that van a year before, if I'd have bought that in
2019,
in 2020 or 21 instead of 22 where I did I bought it in 21.
Yeah,
if I'd have bought it in like 19 or 20,
yep.
that $5,000 van would have been a $3,000 van, and a $5,000 van would have been a 2010 or 12, and that would have been a much better vehicle. Well, it would have been a few years newer. It probably would have been lower miles.
Yeah,
like I probably would have been better off. But
yep, no, I had a
timing is never on my side.
No, I had a buddy that wrecked his truck, and he was telling me what he was looking at and what they were costing. I was like,
yeah,
man, you should have did this 2 years ago.
Yeah. After what Josh told me he sold the Cavalier for, like,
damn it. Yeah.
That's out of control.
Yeah, prices are crazy.
Prices are crazy.
Except for Mini Coopers.
Well, broken ones.
Yeah, broken Mini Coopers. Oh,
running Mini Coopers.
That's anywhere from, it could be anything.
Right.
Their prices are outrageous.
Bases or S's, same price.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So weird.
It's a weird car.
Yeah. That's why it's really not, it's hard to do Craigslist challenges right now.
Yeah, we need to like give ourselves a stupider budget.
Right, because like doing a $20,000 budget is not any fun.
No.
But a $5,000 budget isn't enough to buy anything.
No. No, it is not.
So it really takes the fun out of it.
We'll make it fun again. Speaking of making it fun again, Adam.
Yeah. So we've done this more than once with the vehicles I've bought, where I go on eBay and I find all the terrible, stupid accessories that you can buy for these vehicles.
I can see how this worked because you were looking at hinges, and then all of a sudden it's like something else pops up, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you click that, and then you click that, and then before you know it, it's like
everybody knows that Hondas are like, if you have a Honda and you want a part for it, somebody makes it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like there is everything imaginable, any modification part imaginable exists for a Honda Civic. It's just a thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that trickles down into a lot of their other models. And so obviously we had to go to eBay and price out my Odyssey.
Uh-huh.
And what I'm a little bit annoyed by when I started doing this about 10 minutes before we started the show, because that's how things are around here, is that some of this stuff is shockingly affordable.
And you have gift cards that make it even more affordable.
Yeah. So the first thing that we found was a lip kit, like a front bumper.
Yeah, like a
splitter, basically. It's a splitter. It's a time attack splitter, is what it is. It's street mod legal.
Oh, yeah. See, it's perfect.
And it even comes with like the fake connector or
the
splitter supports.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Those support rods.
Yes.
Support rods.
Yeah, we'll go with
they
that.
go into the plastic bumper and don't actually do anything. Like if it actually made any real amount of downforce. But what I'm really annoyed by is that I don't actually hate what it looks like on the front of the van that they have it on in the picture.
My favorite part.
It's $36.
Yep.
And I have a $15 gift card, which means that will cost me $21.
Shipped to your door.
I can't afford not to buy that.
And the reaction from Katie would be worth every penny.
Yeah.
Every penny.
It's hilarious.
I would help you install this. But you'd have to film her reaction.
It looks annoyingly good. Like
I wouldn't go that far. Let's just dial that.
It's
back.
hot boy, Robbie.
I also like how on the advertisement in the second picture it says high quality ABS plastic.
Well, it is high quality.
No, it's not.
Sure, it is.
It's the cheapest quality, but you need it.
I kind of do.
At $21.
Katie's a terrible driver.
Oh, that thing will be gone in like a week, but it'd be worth it.
She's already crashed the van twice that I know of.
That was important. Yeah, it was important to say that last part.
She put a hole in the taillight,
How?
which she backed into a trash can at the end of our driveway.
Came out of nowhere, Adam.
Yeah, it just jumped out at me.
It could have been anything.
I leave before our trash gets picked up, so I can't do anything about it. Like I can't.
No, I understand.
I can't stop her from hitting this.
Yep.
She knows it's there every Wednesday. Like clockwork. Thursday morning, there will be a trash can at the end of the driveway. She hit it once that I know of, and put a hole in the tail light. It's cracked. It's got a little pinhole in it.
Dang it!
It's not really a pinhole. It's
now it gets water in it.
Yeah, it does. Actually, it does fill up with water.
I
almost drilled a hole in the bottom to get rid of it.
Get rid of the water.
Yeah, I almost was that guy.
It could be worse.
I learned when I used to climb towers, it's much easier to give the water a path out than it is to try and keep it out entirely.
Yeah.
A lot of radios are designed, a lot of like tower-based radios are designed that way. Where they have, I mean,
they have a drain.
They have a drain. And like they're less designed to keep the water out as they are to just give it a path through that's safe.
Why fight it?
Yeah.
something about going with the flow.
And then she also, her story, which I'm not totally convinced of, was that she was sitting at a stop sign and some kid cut the corner too hard and caught the front corner of the bumper, which it is on the driver's side.
Okay.
So her story does kind of work that way.
Holds a little water.
It holds a little water. But if she didn't turn hard enough and hit somebody when she was turning right instead of them turning left, she would have had the same contact.
Yep. Or like going around a drive-through and then catching the pole that's there.
Right.
Yeah.
That could have happened too. But there's no real paint transfer.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a yellow or a red pole.
Yeah.
It was definitely another vehicle.
Okay.
But that didn't cost me any money, so I guess either way.
So it was a hit and run and there was no police report, is what you're saying?
Probably. And then she did back into somebody in a parking lot and claims to have not noticed and left, which prompted a police visit to our house.
Those are fun.
Yeah. And they actually filed against my insurance.
Yep.
But it didn't cost me any money.
That was a surprise when I got in the fender bender with the truck, too. Like, because they were in a beater, like my Focus.
Right.
And then, like, it was like three fender benders all, like, at once. So, like, these cars stopped for that fender bender just so they could all look at that fender bender. And then everyone slammed on the brakes. Yep. And I was, like, half a second away from catching it. Like, it was just hit the bumper.
Yeah.
And so then, their car was like knocking like crazy and like in way worse condition than the Focus. Right. And she's like, I don't know. I'm gonna let my husband look at it because I had like just too little. Because like just the way it bent my bumper in, but, like hit their crash beam, and it was just kind of like just a couple little dings on their little plastic bumper. I'm gonna let my husband look at it, and I was like, well, whatever. Here's my insurance. And the cops are already there because they're dealing with all these other fender benders, so it was real minor, so they didn't actually do a report on it. So then it goes and they file insurance, and like so I'm talking to the insurance the next day. She's like, "Well, you're totally covered, so it's like not a big deal, and we're going to fix it." I was like, "Great."
That's what I don't understand.
Like, why would you even bother fucking fixing it?
Well, so what I don't understand is, and I'm not this is not me complaining.
No,
don't get this twisted.
No,
but like I got a notification because I have the insurance company app on my phone, right? So I got a notification that a claim had been filed against me. And so I open it up and I'm looking at it or whatever. And they said that they were awaiting body shop estimate. Yep. And then like that was the last I thought of it. And like 2 months later, I'm like, I never got a bill that I know of. Yeah. And so I open up the app and I look at it and it says that the claim had been closed,
processed and
taken care of, but I never got a bill.
Yep.
But I have a deductible.
I do too, but for whatever reason that mine didn't cost me anything either.
I don't know.
So it was because I called her. I called the insurance place and talked to some lady, and she was like, "Yeah, you have like some absurd number of, that they would just pay out for these type of accidents. It's like no big deal, and like it's free." Well, not free, but you know what I mean? Like it's covered and you don't have to pay anything. Okay, great.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at on it.
And like my insurance rates didn't go up or anything crazy, and
not that I know, not yet.
No,
Well, mine is, this was only like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, I'll say mine re-upped after that. I've already paid. So, I mean, but I've gone like my whole life without accidents.
I have very minimal.
Yeah.
I've only had one insurance claim, and I was 16.
This might... Is this my first? This might have been my first.
I rear-ended the... So in my hometown, there were 2 lawyers.
Okay.
That were like a...
Like Johnson & Johnson
right.
insurance company,
yep.
or a lawyer firm.
Right. There were the 2 lawyers, and they were partners in a firm.
Yep.
And when I was just past 16, I rear-ended one of the lawyer's daughter's Jeep, Grand Cherokee.
With your Cavalier?
No, with my 1970 Mercury Montego.
Great.
Before I hit her, my left turn signal didn't seem to work consistently, but whatever I did jarred it loose when I hit her, so that started working again. So actually the car was in better working condition after I crashed it. And we just attached a ratchet strap to one of the posts on my dad's 4-post lift and just ratchet the hood straight again so that it would close, and I
good to go.
Moved on with my life. But I'm pretty royally fucked up the back end of her Jeep Grand Cherokee, and like so it needed like a new bumper and a new gate and all that, or a new hatch and all that stuff. So that one I think cost us some money.
Yeah.
And then when I got my Cavalier, this was like right after I bought my Cavalier, I was at a stop sign and there was an old lady on a bicycle across the street from me, but she would be going. She was trying to cross the road that I was also going to be driving through.
Okay.
Like, so if I'm going north and she's going east and west.
Yep.
So she was crossing the street but she was on the opposite side of the intersection. And it's a 4-way stop intersection. So I'm stopped and I'm waiting
for her to cross.
And I try to wave her through, and she waves me through. And so then I go, and then she decided to go too, and she literally hit my front tire and like flew over my car. And somebody saw it happen and waited for the cop, because of course she wanted a cop.
Yeah, of course.
Turns out that was the wife of the other lawyer, because of course it fucking was.
Your luck.
Right. Yeah. Welcome to my life, Robbie.
Yep.
And so the cop was like, this isn't like, he explained, or I explained to him what happened. She kind of explained her story.
Yeah.
The person who saw it happen explained what he saw happen. And the cop was like, this kid didn't do anything wrong. Like, he tried to wave you through and you waved him through. So he went, and then you went too. You ran into him technically because she hit the side of my car.
Yeah.
I didn't hit her. She hit me.
Yes.
Technically. She's a pedestrian, so it's always my fault.
Yeah.
Right? And so I basically didn't get anything from that, but then we got a bill from them.
Like medical bill?
Like a medical bill, and then they wanted us also to replace the bike.
Oh, jeez.
And it was allegedly like some $1 billion bike, right?
Of course, yeah. Carbon fiber, whatever.
Yeah. And so then my dad went to the lawyer's office, and the lawyer said, well, you can either pay it or I'll see you in court.
Oh, jeez.
Are you fucking kidding?
Oh, what a mess.
So I guess we paid that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we weren't going to win that.
No. And even if, like, you'd just settle, and it just paying anyways.
Yeah. And then we'd have to pay a lawyer on top of it.
Right. It'd be the same amount or more.
You're right. So...
Yeah.
But those have been my only insurance infractions.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually... Honestly, I think this might be the first time I've actually filed.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got a pretty good...
You've never, like, hit a deer or anything?
No. Never hit it.
Right.
Yeah, I've come pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Many a time.
I mean, we all have. If you live in Iowa,
Yeah.
you've at least come close to hitting a deer more than
deer
once.
farm that is the unhunting area that's right there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's only like 1,000 of them.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually... I backed into somebody at a parking lot one time, but there was like... They were clearly shit-faced. And it was like a bunch of these people going to like a wedding.
Yeah.
So there was like 6 or 7 people in this little tiny car. And they clearly didn't want the cops involved. But the cops showed up anyways.
Right.
And, like, there's nothing to do because we're in a parking lot.
Right.
It's like, I think it was a rental car though, so I think that, I guess that technically that would have counted then. I think we paid for that bumper.
Yeah, maybe.
But I was working at a body shop at the time, and we offered to fix it for them, and then we never heard anything about it. So maybe they didn't even file. I don't know. I was like 17. I don't know.
Right. There was the one time that I got hit in the Audi that you were with me.
I was with you.
Where we got rear-ended.
Yep.
But I didn't have I saw him coming.
Yeah.
And so I took my foot off the brake, and he just pushed us forward.
Yeah, there really wasn't any damage. I think the foam piece on the inside of your bumper.
Yeah, which we couldn't see.
Yeah.
Like from the outside, it looked the car looked completely fine. But I think that guy probably shit himself.
Oh yeah.
Because it was a van, and the front end of that van had already exploded.
Yep.
Like the bumper was completely destroyed previously.
Yeah, before this accident.
So like clearly he'd been in another accident semi-recently, and then he hit the back end of an Audi, and he probably like, I'm going bankrupt. Like, I'm done. This is the end of me. And I look at it and I'm like, I don't know, man. It looks fine to me. Like, I'm fine. Robbie, you're fine. Yeah, okay. Well, shook his hand and like got back in my car.
It was snowing out, and like neither one of us wanted to deal with it.
No, God no.
Or neither one of you two, I guess.
Right.
I wasn't really involved, but
yeah,
I didn't see any damage.
dodged a bullet
Yeah.
on that one.
Yep.
So,
Oh well. So what else do you want to do this van of yours?
So, not only do they have this lip kit, but they also make that is like a shitty lip kit, but they also make like real lip kits, like legit ones, right?
Like that attached to your bumper.
Yeah. So
like,
there's you got one in here somewhere. They're like Mugen kits. They look like.
Oh yeah. You did send me that.
So this one looks shockingly like a fit. When they're lowered with this front lip on it,
Kind of like Matt Williams'
it looks like a fit.
in the front. Yeah.
It looks like a big fit, which is really all it is.
You're not wrong.
Dude, if a fit had sliding rear doors, I'd own a fit right now. True story.
You already do.
I just own a big one,
Yep.
Big one that's not anywhere close as reliable. But they make these sweet-ass lip kits, which are also shockingly not expensive.
How much is it?
$180? I mean, it comes unpainted, so that would kind of suck. But
we could wrap it.
Yeah. But Katie would for sure destroy that.
Yeah, don't go with the cheap one first.
Because I don't think that would even make it into my driveway without dragging if she came at it straight. Like my S10, my extreme bump lip kit, I had to come in at a little bit of an angle.
Yeah, but you can see this van is lowered, so I think
the van is lowered.
So I think it'd be close. It would probably scrape, but it wouldn't be. Like,
she'd for sure scraping on shit all the time, though.
Well, yeah, when she backs up and then it goes half off the curb and half on your driveway,
right?
That's when it'll come off.
Yeah, so that wouldn't last. I give that a month tops, and so it's not worth $180
in the summer. As soon as there's snow on the ground, all bets are off.
No way, dude. It won't survive a week in the winter.
One trip to the grocery store, gone.
Yeah. Well, I drive to the grocery store because heaven forbid she goes and does it herself.
Yeah, she doesn't listen to the podcast.
So,
but that's not bad.
I don't hate how it looks. And there was one company that made a full lip kit, so it had the front lip, the side skirts, and the rear lip. The whole thing. It looked pretty cool.
What did that cost?
They were about the same price each. So, between the $100 and $200 mark each.
Yeah, that add up.
It adds up pretty quick. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But
the $30 lip kit sounds.
The $30 lip kit
that's on the money.
Because I can get it half off. It sounds worth it enough to just buy it as a joke.
And you don't have to paint it. It's high quality ABS plastic.
Yeah, even if it gets, you don't want it painted. You want it to be black.
Yeah, you want it to stand
an accent.
Out. Yep.
Yeah, even if it gets ripped off first try, like it's.
That's a $20 joke to me.
It's funny enough.
Yep. That's like somebody sending us $20 for this crappy soda.
I can act really upset about it.
Yeah, you could have a meltdown in your driveway again.
Well, I don't know about that upset.
Nah, it'd be funny for me.
No, it's not. I'm not.
Let's do it.
Upset about it.
Make sure I'm there.
With my luck, we'll attach it too well and we'll rip the bumper off.
I promise that won't happen.
Because the bumper's already half falling off because she's hit too many things.
Well, how about we fix the bumper and make that more... Use your other gift card to get those rubber band things.
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. JDM, yo.
Yeah, get your JDM bumper attachers.
There we go. So, while we're there working on the bumper, we can throw the coilovers on there.
Because they make more coilovers.
There's a shockingly large number of coilovers on eBay for Honda Odysseys. There's this company called True Heart, which I've never heard of before.
It's like Godspeed, I think.
And they make at least 2 or 3 different versions, different levels.
You probably go with the Sport Comfort, though.
Levels of shitty. Frankly.
Oh, yeah. Their race one is not what you want.
No. And then Megan makes some.
That would probably be a little better.
Which I think was like just under $1,000. And then you can get BCs for $1,200.
You'd probably be a lot happier with the BCs.
I think that's hilarious that there are more companies on eBay making coilovers for my Odyssey than there are companies that make coilovers for the Omni, period.
Yep.
Like, at all. Not just on eBay, but at all.
Doesn't your Omni take, like, really obscure...
So the front of my Omni, the coilover setup that I have on there, this guy makes, like, small adapter plates to make things work. And the front was, like, first-gen neon with just some simple, like, basically where it slots into the spindle on the neon was narrower. And so mostly it just takes up space. There's a bolt at the top and bottom of the spindle, and then he's got a spacer that
that's
fits
easy.
in there.
That's not bad.
Right. And then the back was like late 90s or early 2000s Mitsubishi Lancer.
Okay. I did remember that correctly then.
Yeah.
Neat.
So it was, and those had
but you need a custom,
some very basic spacers that fit on the back of that too.
You didn't need custom top hats or something?
And then I got camber plates, but the camber plates so the bolt pattern for the camber plate that would be on the neon is not the same as the one that's on the Omni. So the ones that are on there, he makes. They're not the BC ones that would come if you bought it for a neon.
Okay. That makes sense.
And then the back, I think, just fit.
That's pretty generic.
Yeah, it's just 2.
Yeah.
And there's no adjustability to it.
Right.
So I think they just fit.
Nice.
The only thing that I had to do was I had to take the adjustment knob that's on the top. I had to take it off.
Oh.
And then in order to make that adjustment, I have to use like a long T-handled Allen wrench and a flashlight from above.
It can never be easy, Adam. It's always got to be.
For me?
Yeah.
Absolutely, Robbie.
It's always got to be a little more challenging than it should be.
And it's not, I can't even say that it's not my fault because most of the time it totally is my fault.
Yep. But you know what wouldn't be your fault? Getting these coilovers for your van and having it go way easier.
Right. These just bolt right in and be done.
Be cake.
Yeah. You know what I need is a lowered van for my wife to crash.
Exactly.
She'd crash into everything with it.
Nah, I'd be fine. It's fine.
Be the worst. But while we're there, while we've already got it jacked up, we can put this straight pipe kit on it and make it sound awesome.
Because what J series?
J35.
Yeah, that J35 engine everyone knows is the best sounding Honda.
So Ryan Seiler told me that he had a buddy with, I want to say it was an Accord, which has the same engine in it.
Yep.
That he had some exhaust kit on it that made it sound insanely good. Like literally one of the best sounding cars he'd ever heard in his life with that exhaust setup on it. Just the right, it had like a weirdly deep tone when it idled, but it almost sounded like an old Indy car or Formula One car at like high RPMs. Like it was just
screamed
just the craziest sounding car you've ever heard.
That was like what was it? I think it was a K-swapped Lotus that was on one lap. It was a swapped Lotus.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what I want to say it was K-swap. It might not have been.
I mean, but that's a pretty common thing.
He had done some really intricate exhaust work, and it was the most unique sound I'd ever heard. It sounded so good. You could do it to your van.
Yeah, that would be sweet, wouldn't it?
Yeah. The $285 one on eBay would for sure give you that sound.
I'm for sure.
No doubt.
It's definitely not. $285 and it has 3 catalytic converters. What could possibly go wrong?
It for sure won't have any rasp. None.
I'm sure it won't be the most terrible thing when you're driving down the road.
It's fine. You won't be the one driving. It's fine.
I drive it all the time, Robbie.
Oh.
I drive it everywhere.
All right, well, it's fine for me. I think it's great.
The only time that Katie drives it and not me is when she takes my kid to school and back. But then he rides the bus home.
Oh.
Otherwise, I always drive it.
Oh, then you need this.
Because I'm not sure as hell not going to sit in the passenger seat with her driving. Are you crazy? Said every car guy ever.
Yeah, no one's a better driver than me. From the passenger seat, I'm the best driver.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, I can tell you everything you're doing wrong.
Right. And no self-respecting car guy lets his wife drive over him.
It's pretty rare.
It's not a thing.
It's pretty rare.
So,
yeah, I like where your head's at. You should definitely buy all this
I
stuff.
could definitely pimp out this van like way more than I wanted to.
I like how you're already halfway in on this. Like, I don't have to convince you you're in.
If I could afford So Ryan said that exhaust kit was really expensive.
Yeah, I believe that.
But like if I could afford it, I wouldn't hesitate for a second to buy that because that would be just the coolest thing ever.
To have it actually sound really good, yeah, that'd be cool.
It'd be hilarious.
But this $35 lip kit,
and like it's too cheap not to buy the $35 lip kit because that's hilarious.
Yep. I like how it has winglets on the side, even.
Yeah, it's some real hot boy racer.
Some high quality ABS plastic.
Yeah, it's Rice at its highest peak.
Yeah, I can't wait till you buy that.
Should put underglow on it.
That's only $25. You should do it.
It's $10 with a $25 gift card, or with a $15 gift card.
I'll be offended if you don't.
So I was listening to Track Walking podcast, which if you don't, you should.
Yeah, I'm not caught up.
After you're done with this.
Yeah, of course. I'm not caught up.
And they just had Jeremy Swenson.
I have not listened to that
of GLTC fame. And
Champion. Not this year. Last year.
Not this year. But he was talking about how back in the day he owned a Honda Civic with an eBay intake and exhaust on it, as one does.
He is one of us.
In the early 2000s, as one does. And so, being the smart ass that I am, when I got home from work that night, I took a picture of one of those $15 eBay gift cards, and I posted it on his wall, kind of hoping that like maybe he'd buy some underglow for the Corvette or something, right?
Yep.
And I don't think he took me seriously.
Aw. Did you ever check to see if that card got used?
I have not yet.
It'd be kind of disappointing if somebody else used it.
But it might take me messaging a person who would have to message another person to get his address, but that would be the most amount of work I would have to put into getting his address and shipping it to him my damn self, which almost is worth the joke.
How well do you know him?
I mean, he knows my name.
Good enough. Good enough. This is how you make friends.
Yeah. This is what happens when you go on a podcast. For once, I can be on the...
You can be on the
I don't have to
trolling end.
Yeah, I can be on the transmitting end instead of the receiving end of this bullshit that is podcast listenership.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to put these sodas in the fridge, so we're not going to drink them this week.
Oh, shoot.
I know. I'm sorry about that. I know you're really excited about the bacon soda and the ranch soda.
I mean, there's still one on my counter at home.
Bring it so we can share it together.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, please don't.
That's all I got, though.
Okay.
Stupid Ricer stuff for Honda Odysseys. Who would have thought? Apparently, the generation before the one I have
has all the shit.
The 2004 and older. That's the generation to have. Andy's Autosport has multiple full body kits for that van.
Jeez. That means yours is next. It's just a matter of time.
I couldn't find any sweet chromed out Altezza taillights to replace the broken one I already have.
That's disappointing.
And there were some blacked out or chromed out housings for the headlights, but they were more expensive than I want to put into it because I do kind of need new headlights.
Yeah, because they're all fogged.
Yeah, because they're all fogged. And I also have to replace the rear taillight because there's a hole in it.
Or drill another hole.
So that's obviously the budget friendly option. But if I could get some sweet Ricer headlights, I wouldn't be totally opposed to that.
No.
Or taillights for that matter. But you can't do it, which is weird to me. I was a little surprised there wasn't
quite surprising.
Chrome Altezza taillights for my Honda.
Because those are for everything.
Right, but I think if I got the generation before, because mine's just new enough that style kind of died out.
Yeah. It did.
for most people.
Yeah, because like pre-2007 is when all the...
Yeah, like 2005 and earlier. And so then the only cars that still have that are like the weirdo cars.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that about 2007 was about when the OEM was like, oh, we should do that too, and started putting it on random cars.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Terrible.
So
yeah, that didn't work out for them.
No. They're always a few years behind.
Yeah.
That was a trend that didn't need to move into the OE.
Not at all.
So,
but you know what trend should move into everyone's house?
What's that?
A Petrobox showing up at your door once a month.
Oh, damn, son.
Using the code TTP15, you get 15% off that box. It's a box full of automotive product. Yep. Car care products, random swag, Petrobox shirts like the one I'm wearing now. This shirt will get you attention from all of the...
weird attention.
All of the attention from the SCCA ladies that are running the events.
Yeah.
Usually about the retirement age.
Uh-huh.
Loves them. They love this shirt.
I had more than one person check the shirt out enough that I noticed it, and I'm pretty dense about these things.
Yep.
At Good Guys, of all places.
Yep, this would be a popular shirt.
The upshift, downshift.
Oh, shift.
Oh, shit? Is that what it says?
Oh, yeah, oh, shit. But it's censored, of course.
Well, yeah. Just like us.
Yes.
You know how long that would take you, Robbie?
Not a chance.
If you went in and bleeped all of our swears.
I would do it, but I would bleep like the words that shouldn't be swear. Like I would leave the swears and then bleep words that shouldn't be bleeped for the comedic effect. That would be better.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because
have you submitted your picture yet, Robbie?
Oh no, I forgot to do that.
God damn it!
Yeah, I'm one of the only guys in our group that hasn't had my car featured in the Petrobox.
I haven't. If it makes you feel.
Have you submitted?
No.
Nah, see how that works.
You're the one who's all butthurt about it.
It's only because all my friends get it and I don't.
The one that the magnet that had Dalton's on it.
Yep.
I had one of those on my fridge, and my daughter pulled it off and threw it in the water dish for the pets, and I didn't notice it for like a while. I don't know how
long enough for it to get gross.
Long enough for it to delaminate itself from the magnet, so that just got thrown in the trash. Sorry, Dalton.
Doesn't he have a shitload more?
Yeah, but those are his. I don't want to take his away.
He doesn't need that many.
He always needs. $10 says that fridge is still there.
Yeah, his new fridge is in the other corner.
On the other side.
His dead fridge is still where it was.
Yeah, it's still back there.
Full of the magnets.
Hopefully it's empty internally. I don't think it was when Ryan sent us those pictures.
It wasn't. I know it wasn't. Gross. But yeah, so if you want car enthusiast type stuff to show up at your house once a month, use the code TTP15 at mypetrobox.com. Also, their store is currently packed full of things from previous boxes. That code works the same there as well. So you can pick and choose what you want. You know, they got leashes, dog collars. Those are kind of cool. They also have all the shirts as well as all the car care products. So if you want to really stock up your garage with car care products that you'll actually use for pennies on the dollar, plus 15% off that, head over to mypetrobox.com.
Boom.
Hot diggity.
Robbie, you got a couple of things.
I got things coming up, man.
You're going to the world's worst racetrack.
Oh, let's not go that far. Like I'm like, I have feelings.
It's the track you're least excited to drive on.
But that's not true either, though. I am, but I'm not. So
because it's so historic.
Exactly.
But
So
if it didn't have the history, you wouldn't go.
That's probably true. So the MPO one's ready to go. We got it all back together. Everything's good to go.
So there was no real damage.
No damage. No, we caught it.
Just slipped.
It just slipped just enough.
Was there anything you could do to prevent that from happening again?
I think it's because I talked about in the previous show that I think that the dry sump pulley.
Oh, that's right. You had to machine some.
Yeah, I think that bottomed. It was a tolerance stack up, so that bottomed on the snout of the crankshaft when it needed to bottom more on the face of where it interfaces with the pulley, where that pulley interfaces with the block washers or diamond washers that interface with the gear. So I think it was we're talking like a handful of thou,
right?
You know, like it's there's not much. So we machined that back so that it interfaces all where it's supposed to, and I think that should solve a lot of our problems because it was clearly bottoming and locking itself in place, but I don't think it was getting the type of not locking grip, but like clamping force that that it needed.
It's a good word.
So I think we got that fixed. Everything went back together. So we've been working on this at my place the last couple of weeks, and we're waiting on parts. So yesterday, Booney was here with Max, and we were working on it. And so we when we have 3 people working on a car, you're all kind of like doing things,
especially that small of a car.
Yep.
So it's got to be kind of a.
It's not bad, but we're like dividing and conquering, taking things done. So it's like we're like, okay, it's back together. And Booney's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go swap tires, so I'm gonna take off. And then Max and I wrap up a few things. When you
do you have the good tires?
Yes.
You got some?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No more Coopers. So for the dry sump, what we do is you because we had to empty it, so now we're putting fresh oil in, and we had to prime that engine. So you pull the spark plugs out, you pull the crank sensor, and you basically run it until it hits 10 psi. Then
which takes way longer than it should. Uncomfortably long.
It's longer than you would want, but it doesn't take too long. But yeah,
it was uncomfortably long when I was here for it. Because it was the first time you would prime that engine, so you were like...
Oh, that one did take a lot longer for the first one.
Because you were like, man, is this thing going to catch?
It did.
Is this motor junk?
No, it did. But yeah, once it's been done, then
I can see.
Then it takes a lot less. But so I went to go do that, and I hit the button, and it goes click. And I can hear the solenoid trying to start the starter. And like, I panic. I was like, I turned this engine by hand. Like we timed it. I timed it.
No, this motor is not bad.
Yeah, we assembled everything. I turned it by hand. No problem whatsoever. Like it did exactly what it was supposed to do. And we finished putting it back together, and now it won't turn over. And I fucking panic. So then, so we look all around, like we check everything out. Everything looks fine. Like no reason to think anything's wrong. Like doing something, like we pop it in the air, we put it in gear and turn it with, turn the wheels. Turn the wheels to turn the engine. Everything's working like it's supposed to. I'm like, something's wrong here. So like, okay, well maybe we ruined the starter at the track when we kept trying to start it at the track. And like the battery power was, it wasn't optimal. Like
maybe
wasn't
under voltaged it.
Yeah, maybe it was a little under
stupid.
Yeah, so maybe it was a little under voltage. So like, so I kind of hitting it with the dead blow just to see like maybe the starter's seized up a little bit. No, it's okay. Well, let's just take the starter out. So I take the starter out, and as I'm doing this, I disconnected the little wire to the solenoid, and I can pull it out, and it just like the lead wire just is right there. It doesn't.
Just hanging out.
It's not connected to fucking anything.
Damn it.
So when Booney attached the alternator wire, he forgot to attach the starter wire that goes to the alternator too. So my moment of panic was his fault. So I texted him.
He had one job.
Yeah, so I texted him and thanked him for. I needed that stress. That was what one day was missing.
Yeah, you almost threw tools.
No, I wasn't there. I was almost there.
Were you nearly irrationally upset?
I told Max that it was his job to tell Booney that we fucked up the engine. I told him I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I will go in and cancel my trip to Sebring, and I will we'll just pretend this didn't happen.
That's fair.
No more talking. I'll see you in a month.
Yep. Next year. There's always 2023.
Which starts in fucking January.
Wait, what?
The first race is in January.
What? You already know your schedule?
Schedule comes out tomorrow, which is Thursday.
Okay.
But Max Track Time is doing test days on a couple of events.
Oh.
And they're doing one Thursday in January.
Where?
NOLA. So this will be outdated by the time this comes out.
Right,
it's like the actual
so
official.
You can talk about it.
So I'm just gonna say it. I'm pretty sure. So if I'm wrong, I'm gonna look stupid.
That's fine.
I look stupid.
Fuck it.
I look stupid. All the time.
That's literally what we've built this podcast around: is us looking like idiots.
Yep. Which is a great source of anxiety.
We just talked for 30 minutes about how I got irrationally upset about a fucking sliding power door.
It happens.
It's fine.
I was talking to Clayton Fitzpatrick, and I made a comment. I was like, that's one thing I won't miss about the podcast is constantly putting myself out there because that's so against my personality.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I never thought of it that way. He's like, you talk about things and I relate to them. I was like, yeah, that's literally me putting all of my shit for everyone to see.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I still, to this day, episode 301, Still get anxiety about it.
But I think it's good that we do that.
I do.
So that other people...
I see the good in it.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't think people put us on some sort of expert pedestal to begin with.
No,
but, like, it's good to know that they're not the only ones struggling.
Yes. Yeah,
and if we just talked about all the
successes,
sunshine and daisies, then this show would be a lot shorter.
And no one would care.
It'd be a lot shorter.
Wouldn't even do it.
So
yeah, so yes, Max Track Time is doing a test day the Thursday of January 19, I think. I don't have a calendar in front of me. I don't care.
Right.
But that means that the WRL race at NOLA is January 20 to 22.
Oh, yeah, logical deduction says.
So that should be that'll
okay,
be
yep, that's
that. So my assumption is that event's even sooner this year.
Damn it, Robbie.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yep, 19th is a Thursday.
Yep. Okay, that I did remember correctly.
Got to take my recyclables out that day.
I'll be in New Orleans apparently.
So it's on my calendar for that day.
And because we kind of talked like what events do we, if we skip events, what one are we skipping? We're like, well, we could skip NOLA because it's so early in the year and so far, but that's the best food of the year. So we get to go eat at Katie's, and then we also get to go eat at that other restaurant. And well, we can't really skip NOLA now, can we?
Waffle House?
No, that's Atlanta. When Booney goes out and does that while I'm sleeping in the hotel.
Well, but we could do it without him.
I did in Kansas City.
Noise.
So put the starter back in.
Yeah.
Prime the engine. No problem whatsoever. Put it all back together. We're waiting. Fuel filters came in today, so that'll be put together. By the time this comes out, everything will be back together. Actually, by the time this comes out, this should be loaded in the trailer, ready to go.
Yeah, because it basically needs to be on its way by the time this show comes out.
Yeah. They're leaving Tuesday. I fly out Thursday. I learned that it isn't just the Allegiant flight to Las Vegas that's so cheap on Thursdays. It's all of them. It's fucking all of them. If you live in Des Moines.
I feel like I need to take more advantage of this.
If you live in Des Moines, Allegiant does like round trips Thursday to Sunday everywhere. It's just like, I want to go to Sarasota this weekend. That'll be $50.
No one ever.
Everyone goes to Sarasota. It's right by Tampa. But the problem with Sebring, every airport's 2 hours away.
Right.
You got Orlando, about 2 hours away. You got Tampa, about 2 hours away. You got Sarasota, which I can't believe is the cheapest one, about 2 hours away. And then you also have...
is it a direct flight? No, it can't be.
It is.
What?
Des Moines to Sarasota is a direct flight.
That's a direct flight?
It's a 2.5 hour flight.
That's insane that's a direct flight.
For $50. They do it every Thursday.
$50.
And then
Get out of here.
And then they fly...
It's so dumb.
The worst part is, though, they fly back Sunday at like 2 o'clock.
It'll cost you that much to park your car.
Yes.
Is it $50 back if you did it?
I think it was a little more expensive. I think it was like $100.
It would have been. That's how they get you, Robbie.
So cheap.
That's how they get you.
And I knew it existed because I kept trying to bundle it for round trips. Like I had to do it one way. So
man, that makes buying a car in a nice part of this country
so much more affordable.
A lot more reasonable now. Yep. I feel way less stupid about
because we talked about like
buying a car and cannonballing it home.
That too, but like how cheap it was to fly to Vegas on Thursday if you come back on Sunday, taking the Allegiant flights.
It wasn't that cheap. It wasn't $50 fucking dollars.
It wasn't
cheap.
$50.
It still cost us like
$100.
I think it cost us almost $400 round trip.
No, it was way less than that, dude.
I don't think it was.
It was.
I don't know.
Because it's Allegiant. They don't have any $400 flights.
Round trip.
No, I'm pretty sure it was way less than that.
Allegiant still sends me emails to this day, and like I'll see. I've never opened one of them.
Yep.
But I leave them in there because someday I'm gonna start traveling.
Sure.
That'll happen. But they're like, flight starting at $29.
Yeah.
Like,
they're real. But
is that a 50-50 chance you make it?
There's no carry-ons whatsoever. Like
I mean like, or the plane goes down.
Oh, they have to cut costs somewhere. Being as I work in overhaul, I can tell you that you need to cut costs somewhere to have a $50 plane ticket. Yeah. Just so we're perfectly clear on how this works.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure that's only the best pilots.
The best pilots, the best maintenance, the best product, for sure. Allegiant Airlines.
But still, it can't be that bad because it's pretty heavily government.
It's super regulated.
Regulated.
Oh, God, yeah.
And like, if they were falling out of the sky,
They're not.
and killing people all the time,
Right.
they wouldn't be a business.
Yeah, just so we're clear, the track record for flights is like unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Like 99% isn't good enough.
Right.
It's so much better than that.
Right.
It's the safest way to travel. For real.
Statistically.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Doesn't make me feel any better.
No, you are much more likely to die in the car going to the airport than you are in the actual flight.
Right.
But the worst part was I couldn't get an Allegiant flight back. So I had to fly through. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to fly in Thursday, get the cheapest rental car I could find,
Yeah,
which I did. I'll drive to Sebring.
So, are you excited to drive a Mitsubishi Mirage?
That's basically what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be a Versa or a Mirage or
Yep. I tried to.
similar.
Yeah, I tried to find like.
An Aveo.
Yeah, there was a Prius on Turo that was almost as cheap, but one of these rental car sites at the airport was cheaper.
I don't know if Turo's this way, but like, because Dusty and I looked into Outdoorsy for Heartland.
Yep.
Thinking maybe we could split it and have a camper. And it's just like Airbnb where like, oh, it's $100 a night, and then you get a bill for $1,000 for 3 nights.
Yep. Yeah, so it was.
I don't know if Turo's that way or not.
Yeah, so the car was like $30 a day.
Right.
With a $120 delivery fee to the airport where the car is already fucking sitting.
Right.
And then a bunch of other fees.
Right.
So it was like well into the 300s.
Right.
For the $30 a day.
That's how they get you.
Yep. So it was cheaper to go with one of the rental places that was at the airport with whatever the economy car was, because I don't want to spend any money.
Right.
Because I'm just going to drive to the track and that's it.
Yeah.
So my plan was to get
Maybe run to the store and buy another fire bottle. You never know.
Exactly. So I'll drive to Sebring, stay at the track, and my plan was to find the red eye so that once we're done on Sunday, we'll help everybody get ready to take off. The GTU group, like with Stratus Racing and like anyone that's there that's racing in GTU, they're doing like not like a mixer, but like everyone's doing like a catered dinner thing or whatever.
Right.
So I'll probably stick around for that, and then my hope was to just drive back to the airport, hop on a red eye. They don't exist. Nothing that would get me to Des Moines.
Did you look at the other airports, or do you have to return?
I got to return it back at Sarasota.
That sucks.
So the best I could do was a 6 a.m. flight. Maybe it was 7 a.m. One of the two through Atlanta and then through Delta. So that was a $200 ticket.
Ouch.
And I have to get a hotel in Sarasota.
Well, you could stay at the track and just get up early.
Get up that early? Are you crazy?
I'm giving you options here.
Nah,
Are we budget minded or not?
No, we're splurging on my $50 flight.
You're going to spend twice as much on one hotel night as you did on your flight there.
Yep.
Easily.
Oh yeah, for sure.
By mistake, you'll spend twice as much.
The
cheapest hotel in Sarasota is probably $100 a night.
Yes, that's what I got. It's at the Sleep Inn. So yeah, so I'll be so they'll be leaving Tuesday because it's a long damn drive to Sebring. I'll be flying out Thursday. Probably still beating him to the track.
Jesus Christ! So is it practice Friday, race Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, practice and qualifying is Friday. So because WRL does a non give all day to qualify.
Yeah.
So they do every other session is HPD practice qualifying,
right,
or whatever you want to call it. So you have all day to set your lap time with whatever driver you want. So you could buy the extra track time, and you literally just have all day.
So when they start a race,
yep.
Do you start in class or do you start in overall time?
No.
Do they grid it like GLTC or time attack?
Both technically. So they do 2 pace cars. The first pace car paces the GTO cars because that's usually the biggest class and the fastest. So those guys or gals will be out first.
That's the GTO's the biggest class.
Yes,
that's crazy.
Because you can sell rental seats for like $10,000 a pop, man. It's crazy. So yeah, so GTO.
Good God.
Is usually the biggest class.
Okay.
So that has their own set of pace cars, and they're the fastest. So they bring them out first. So we'll just say like there's 40 cars right there. And then
they're faster than you guys.
Yeah, they dialed this NPO ones back.
Oh, that's right.
They neutered them.
That's right.
So then the second pace car leads the GTU cars, which is the NPO ones, and then the GTP cars, which would be like the production cars, all the way 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, whatever. So
it's just GP, isn't it?
GP1?
I think it's GP 1, 2, and 3. I don't think it's GTP.
Did I say GTP?
I think it's just GP.
It's just GP.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say T.
Okay.
So then, the GTU cars lead that pack, and then that's just how we start the race.
So you...
And those are all based on times. In those two,
but within the classes.
Within the classes.
Not overall.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so realistically, most of the GTU cars will probably be faster than at least half of the GTO cars.
Okay. See, that's what I was asking. Like, do they grid you by overall pace on your from your qualifying session, or do they grid you by overall pace in your class?
In your class.
That's
so in all reality, if a GTU car wins overall, they actually had to do it harder than any GTO car because they had to go through all of the.
Listen to Mr. High Horse over here.
I'm just saying,
we took the hard road.
Stratus Racing took the hard road because it wasn't us.
Classic 1010s podcast.
Yep. Yeah, we couldn't take the easy route.
We took the hardest way possible to achieve whatever it was we were trying to achieve.
Yeah, it was twice as hard and twice as expensive.
Right. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I know the NPO ones aren't cheap, but I don't know about twice as expensive.
It's not twice as expensive as some of those GTO cars.
No.
Unreal.
It's not an Aston Martin race car.
Or a GT3 Cup car, whatever the hell
right.
they are,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's IMSA Light. That's what it is.
It's not even IMSA Light. It's just IMSA. It's IMSA Endurance.
It's IMSA 10 years ago.
It's IMSA Enduro.
Yep. Yeah,
I think they do some endurance racing, I guess, but
that's what IMSA does, Adam.
I thought they did mostly sprint racing.
No, they do not.
Oh, okay.
I think their shortest race is like 2 hours.
Oh, I don't pay attention to their stuff.
It's the only thing to pay attention to, Adam.
I don't pay attention to anything that's like pro-level racing.
If you are paying attention to racing, the only racing worth watching is IMSA.
I literally don't pay attention to any pro racing.
Formula One is the worst racing.
Probably.
The worst.
It almost always has been.
The absolute worst.
Right. The less money there is in the series, the better the racing is. That's why GLTC is the best racing to watch.
That's fair. And then IMSA, because it's just the craziest. Like the entire race of Petit Le Mans is more exciting than the best parts of Formula One.
That's probably true.
I had it on the whole day.
I used to very closely follow the 24s.
Yes, I still do.
And some of the 8s.
Yes.
I've always been way more interested in WEC.
I don't follow that as closely.
Because I love the LMP1 cars. Because I'm me.
I understand. I'm super pumped about the hypercars.
They look awesome.
Yup. They went the right direction.
Yeah, it's going to be good. But I don't follow pro racing at all.
I still follow Formula One more than I wanted to. I follow IndyCar, and then I actually don't have the time to usually sit down and watch IMSA enough to
I really don't care about Formula car racing. To me,
just in general,
any Formula car racing.
Oh, I like it. Way more into IndyCar.
To me, the pinnacle of motorsports today is LMP1, which is now what are they?
DPI.
Well, no, the new hybrid. What is that called? It's not DPI. Is over.
Well, then it's hypercar. LMPH or whatever.
Yeah, LMPH. That's what they call it.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the pinnacle of racing.
I couldn't agree more.
I don't like open wheel cars. Cars have fenders.
That's fair.
Even if they're prototypes, they have fenders. Cars have fenders. That's cool to me.
Yep. Closed cockpit with fenders.
Right.
I'm with you.
Yeah, obvi.
Yeah. So obviously we're going to Sebring. I have very, very mixed feelings about it.
Right.
I'm excited because it's Sebring.
Right. It's like one of the most historical tracks in the country.
But I'm not excited about it because it's Sebring.
Because it's one of the worst tracks in the country.
So because anytime Ross Bentley has a virtual track walk, we buy it, we study it, or I sure as hell do. It's Sebring is a 3-hour virtual track walk.
That's insane.
And I take notes the entire time. I print off an 11x17 track map, and I write down my notes.
Robbie, that's insane.
I am as prepared as I possibly can be.
Dude, I couldn't. I can't fathom
I did. The worst part
watching that. That's got to be so. And I love Ross Bentley. Don't get me wrong, but that's got to be so.
It's not
snooze.
It's not because I'm preparing for the race. Like it's everything that's in there is vital.
I guess
it's so important.
That's crazy.
It's me. Like at this point in the track, don't drop your wheel off because you'll fucking regret it. Okay, noted. Don't do that. Stay away.
I just
turn. Here's your turning point. Look here. It's super, super helpful. And like, insane. So I got all like, and then I'm writing it down so I remember it better. It's like I have a track map written down. And then I'll study it. So, but yeah. So it's a 3-hour video, but of course I pause it to write down notes. So it's like a 5-hour video, really.
That's crazy, Robbie. Is that one session, or do you?
That's one track.
No, but do you break that up, or do you sit down for 5 hours?
No, I don't have to. I break it up. I don't have time to do it in 5. I usually like. Today, I came home from work and I did an hour and a half of it.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. I'll have it wrapped up here probably tomorrow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You're a crazy human being.
No, the worst part was I did that for Road America, and I didn't get to drive on track for even a minute. I studied for hours, dude. Hours. And I had hours of sim time.
But think about how much better you'll be next year with the 350Z there.
No, I'll be good.
When we get to go back.
Yeah, fuck yeah. On the new surface.
On the new surface.
Where all of the notes won't be relevant anymore because the surface has changed.
Most
of it will be relevant. It's not like Sebring where it will. It's critical.
Yeah, I think that's of all the tracks where you need to probably do that, Sebring's pretty high on that list.
Yeah, so like going through, I'll say like going through turn 1, and so they're like right before the apex, there's a big bump, but you have to be flat. Or you have to keep your foot in the throttle over that bump.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to unsettle the car. So then you hit apex it, and then you're on full throttle for that second bump that's right after the apex. And then as you're tracking out, you need to be on the right side of the track. Because when it switches from cement to asphalt, on the left side of the track, it's a 2-inch drop. That's why it's so freaking bumpy. But if you're on the right side of the track, it's more like a 3/4 inch drop. So it's way less of a unsettling of the car. That's
so ridiculous.
So it's just...
And then what is it, like the last 2 corners that are the most bumpy?
The first...
From the last 2 through 1?
All of it. The whole thing.
The cement section.
The whole thing, man. The whole thing.
The asphalt's not as bad, is it?
Yes, it is. The whole thing.
Is it really?
The whole thing is that bad.
Because I thought like that last long sweeper is the worst.
Turn 1, I think, is worse. Then the whole front straight.
Yeah.
And turn 17 too.
Should be doing that the whole time.
So
I bet that Stratus Racing will not be you will not be significantly
taller,
higher off the ground than Stratus Racing this weekend.
Probably not. So it's been a while since I've been in the sim, so I've been getting back into it just to get a flow for the track. So then also as I'm doing the track walk or virtual track walk notes, I can see it before I even get there.
Right.
So I jumped on the sim the other day for, I don't know, maybe less than an hour. And it's so bumpy that like the screen's doing this, like just bouncing back up and down. I got fucking motion sickness. I've never had that happen in the sim.
That's crazy in a
sim.
Never.
Yep, I've never had it happen. But for whatever reason, I think it was a combination of not being in the sim for a while, as well as just the fact that the whole screen's bouncing so much that I had to kind of like stop for a minute. It's wild.
That's nuts.
I don't know. I think it was Stratus that was saying that for the entire course, like for the entire season, 60% of your wear and tear happens at Sebring.
I'm telling you, man, it's not worth it.
So I'm excited, but I have reservations. You know?
Yeah.
Also, when Ross Bentley introduces, like they do like a 15-minute introduction where they're talking about the track and like all the history and like why it's so great and like what they love about it, and then they're talking about I want to say it was like Rick something. They were talking about an endurance racer that had historically been like it was known for like during an 8-hour race he got done and was like pissing blood. Like that's not a great advertisement for what I'm about to do.
Can you imagine this being like your local HPDE track, though?
Yeah, like my home track is Sebring, you know?
That would suck. I pity those people.
See, it's one of those things like I have reservations about it. It's probably like one of my favorite tracks. I can just see it going that way, or I'm gonna hate it. I feel like there's gonna be no middle ground. I'm either gonna love it or hate it.
I don't know about hate.
I don't think I'll hate it.
I don't think there's any track you can just like outright hate.
That's true.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a track.
It's still a track, yeah.
And you're still in like one of the craziest cars you'll ever get to drive your entire life.
So far.
That's fair. You're not wrong.
I'm like, the number of people I know that have LMP3 cars is fucking mind-blowing to me. I got to pursue this, Adam.
No, I'm not. I'm totally with you on that one, Robbie. I totally get it. So there was one at Gingerman this weekend.
Yeah, and Bill Morton was there with his Corvette.
Oh, really?
So he was texting
went to Subi Speed.
Yep,
Expo or whatever it was called.
So he was texting me the whole time while he was there, and he sent me a picture of an LMP3 car, and he said he'd talked to the guy.
Yeah,
and the guy said that he had owned some amazing cars, like
the crazy stuff.
Think of the best stuff you could buy,
right?
Production cars,
right?
And he goes, and then I bought this, and had I known what it was like to drive this car, I would have never bought any of the other cars. And I told him, I said, Bill, I didn't need to know that. That was a confirmation I didn't need to have.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants anything, it's all for sale. Everything's for sale.
There's somebody in the Twin Cities area, the Minneapolis, St. Cloud area, that has an LMP3 car. And because he lives in Minneapolis, he doesn't have a whole lot of things to do with it. He takes it to autocrosses at DCTC.
That's amazing.
That DCTC track it's a training facility for law enforcement.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's kind of like when we went to air quotes autocrossing at Marshalltown.
Okay.
They have different configurations, but it's a very similar style thing. He races it there every time they do a DCTC event. He's out there with his LMP3 car.
That's wild. I feel like that'd be really hard.
He had it at the last proving grounds. He ran it in the autocross.
That'd be cool.
With an LMP3 car.
That's wild.
Which is hilarious.
I commend him.
Yeah. I don't know what he's running for tires. Like if he put a street tire on the factory wheel.
Probably.
Because I assume that's just a big single.
It is.
So like,
yeah,
the wheels you have are probably the wheels you have. It's not like you hop on Tire Rack and buy a set of street tire wheels.
I don't think so. Yeah. So like 9-4 Motorsports was at Autobahn with their LMP3 car. It's like
they probably have a garage there.
Yeah.
The Radical dealer in this area, Stradale, is there.
I saw it.
That's where they're building. That's their shop there.
Yep. Because when I was getting that door, I walked right past it.
We ever talked about that? How cool is that place?
Super cool.
It's really nice.
Really awesome.
It's very nice.
It's just an awesome facility.
Yeah, a really cool place.
So I need to go back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got Sebring coming up. I'm excited about it, but I have reasons where I'm less excited about it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's just nerve wracking because you're still very much in the development phase of the car.
Yep.
And like this track is known for being really brutal on
trial by fire, Adam.
Even really well developed cars.
Yep.
Learn by doing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, go all in.
I mean, sure, but at the same time, shit ain't free.
Nope. But I'm excited. It'll be good. It'll be really good.
Yeah.
I don't want to be peeing blood though. I prefer not to do that.
I feel like that's probably not a thing that modern cars you'll have to deal with.
Yes. Because the NPO one is so forgiving.
Well, I bet you it has a much more forgiving suspension than a 70s.
It was not a 70s driver.
Can-Am car.
It was not a 70s driver. I can't remember who it was, but it was semi-recent. It'll be fine. That's fine.
I'm sure you're in better physical shape than he was.
Yes, because
he's probably a
endurance.
drinker.
Endurance
he's
racers.
probably fucking high as a kite on cocaine or some crazy ass shit. Who knows?
That's the dream, Adam. Oh fuck!
Do you know how much cheaper this would be if we were into strippers and blow instead?
Just don't do a podcast. Just smuggle drugs across the border.
No. We go to the same places we go to now. We just instead of going to the racetrack, we go to the strip clubs. That'd be so much cheaper.
We could still do that, Adam. We could do both.
It might even be cheaper for me, and I don't even fucking bring a car.
Yeah, it would definitely be cheaper than driving a car.
For you, for sure.
Sure,
You'd have so much more money.
Yeah. Yeah, that got brought up recently when Jess was talking about how much money I spent racing.
Did you follow that up with it'd be cheaper for me to do strippers and blow? Because I bet you that would have squashed the racing argument.
Wasn't those exact words, but yeah. I was like, you don't want to know what I would be like if I didn't have the cards, man. I'm just saying. It'd be way worse.
There are more expensive hobbies. I'm not sure what they are, but there's definitely more expensive hobbies.
Exactly.
There's also definitely worse ones. Even if they're cheaper, they're worse.
Way worse.
Like strippers and blow.
Yeah. I can still bring her along to that, too, I guess.
Some girls are into that.
The right girls are into that.
Robbie.
But yeah, so if you fly with Allegiant and you do it for $50, you don't get to bring nothing. You get to bring like a briefcase.
Yeah.
I get a briefcase.
Yeah, that's the rough part.
So everything has to be in Lori. I don't get to forget anything. Other than that, I obviously no podcast next week. I don't think, unless we can squeeze it in real early in the week.
No, probably not.
All right.
I just kind of want to find. I'm not going to find it fast enough, but I want to find an Allegiant email and see how cheap their random thing they're advertising to me.
Yeah, if they have a flight to like some random destination.
Oh, here we go. Fare starting at $33.
Yep, it's probably like Des Moines to Nashville or something.
That's crazy. They even have a bonus program too on top of that.
So, but I think they do. I think they do that like fly out Thursday, come back Sunday at like all their destinations is basically like what I'm seeing. So if you want to make like a long weekend or something, Allegiant's got you covered.
Oh, this $33 flight is available from Provo, Utah to Las Vegas, Nevada.
That's not a very far drive.
That's lame.
But I'm saying even things out of Des Moines though, man. I'm telling you.
You have to pay an extra $15 if you make it through their call center.
Huh?
If you call them and arrange your flight, there is a $15 per passenger per segment fee applies to all bookings made through the Allegiant call center.
Oh yeah, they have to pay a human to be there.
Right. So if you do it online, you can save $15 a ticket.
I'm not going to call and talk to somebody.
No, God no. We're millennials. We don't call.
I'd pay $15 not to call the call center.
I'm surprised they don't do that, honestly.
Be better.
Yeah.
Another great place to spend your money. Apex Pro. ApexTrackCoach.com. Use the code 1010 to get 10% off your order when you get the Gen 2 as well as the window mount. I have been using it all season. E-Man stole one from me. So it is Gen 1 is stuck in Ohio.
That poor thing. What did it do to deserve such a fate?
I don't know. He didn't even use it. He just like took it and then just put it in his trailer and left.
Are you even surprised?
No. Because he was all like, oh, I want to try this Apex Pro. I was like, yeah, man, you've been trying it for a year and a half. So he just took it. I mean, there's such a good value. You should just buy one.
Right.
And use our code.
Right.
Or if you want to just do it for free and use the Apex Pro app, it does. Obviously, it doesn't have quite the data, but it'll still show you all the same stuff. You can just use your phone. Just go to your like Android or iPhone right now. Just go to the store and be like, Apex Pro. It's a free app. It's the official motorsports app of the podcast.
Of 1010's podcast.
But yeah, I couldn't be more serious about the fact that Apex Pro is the best value in data, and that also the support system from Andrew and the crew is top notch. So if you have any questions or anything, you can hit them up on Facebook, Instagram, or their website. They have a little chat thing. If you just go to their website and fill it out, and they'll help you. Yeah, but if you see us at any events, be sure to hit us up. I would love to kind of walk through the app and the data with you, and if we have them, and we can put it in your car, and then you can just try it and see what you think. ApexTrackCoach.com.
If I wanted to fly to Vegas tomorrow.
Yeah, Thursday. Yeah,
tomorrow.
Thursday.
Mind you, this is not with any planning ahead. It's $208 for 2 tickets.
2 tickets?
For 2 tickets.
So it's $100 a piece.
Yeah. And then...
Dude, Allegiant should sponsor this show.
The flight home, $188.
For 2 people?
For 2 people.
Dude, why are we not doing this? It's because we're racing stupid cars.
Well, yeah. Well, you are. I just watch.
You still go to the events. That's where all your vacation goes.
Watch. Yeah, I know. That's the dumbest part about it.
Because Jess wants to do something. She's like, we should do something. I'm like, well, we're going to fly somewhere with Allegiant, and we're going to do it for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah. Where else would you want to go in the United States? Let me look here. What do we got, Robbie? What do we got?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Can I go to Charlotte?
Charlotte? Is this in like alphabetical order? I don't know how this is. No, it's not. Why wouldn't it be in alphabetical order? There is no, you can't fly to Charlotte.
What about, it's probably some like really random, like Kitty Hawk National Airport or something. In Bowling, or Greensboro or something stupid.
I have to go down to North Carolina to see my sister here soon. There's really not that many. Tampa Bay.
Which is funny that they have Tampa Bay and
Sarasota. Orange County, California. San Diego. Fort Myers, Florida. Portland, Oregon.
They have 4 airports within an hour of each other.
Yeah. Portland, Oregon. Phoenix. Palm Springs. Orlando. Orange County again.
Florida.
No. Los Angeles.
Oh.
New York City.
Nope.
Nashville would be a fun weekend.
Des Moines to Nashville is like a $40 ticket.
That's a fun weekend, right?
Yeah.
2 travelers. Let's depart a little more reasonable time
Thursday.
frame. Let's depart next Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Give us a week to plan.
Yeah, make this a little bit cheaper than literally departing tomorrow. Returning on the 30th. Sunday. 2 seated travelers.
$54.
Oh, no flight. Oh, $124.
For 2 people? Round trip?
Oh, the flight there is sold out. So they don't have a flight there. But the return trip is $124.
For 2 people.
I think it's for 2 people. It doesn't say whether, but it asked me how many people I was flying with.
You said 2.
Well, let me change it to 1 and see if it gets any cheaper.
It should be like $34. And maybe if you plan a little further ahead than a week, it might be cheaper.
No, it's $124 still.
Oh. Well, you can fly twice as far away for half the price.
But that's because you planned out a little farther in advance.
I bought them like Sunday.
That's still 2 weeks out.
Yep.
This is only 1 week out.
Oh, okay.
So
you can look at the map and it'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, I figured there was probably a map. I'm trying to do it on my phone.
The time grid or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't work very well on my phone either.
Yeah.
So that would be funny, though.
Yeah, no.
Just like,
I'll be honest, I was kind of like, wasn't going to buy a ticket until we knew that engine was back together and working.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, I was looking, like, everything was going to be like $700. It didn't matter when I tried it, like a month ago or today.
Yeah.
It was like, everything was $700 until I started really looking at it. I was like, let's see if I can do this for less than that.
Right.
And you can.
It's too bad that you have to return the car to the same place. Because I'll bet you one of those other has a Sunday red eye.
Yeah, I could have got, yeah.
If you could have flown into Sarasota and then like
left in Orlando or something.
Yeah, out of Tampa or something like that. I bet you could have done it.
Yep. Oh, well. So I get to drive for a couple hours on Thursday and Sunday to see the beautiful Everglades, I guess. I don't know. It's probably not that far south.
Oh, think of all the animals I could identify in Florida on my app.
I get to see all the hurricane damage.
Yep.
That'll be disheartening.
Yeah, that'll kind of suck.
Because I'm literally following the path.
Yeah, it's
hard. I'll be driving from Sarasota to Sebring.
Like, I've only seen tornado stuff, but it's really hard.
Well,
like if you're a decent human being, seeing that stuff is hard on you.
Well, like even NOLA, like New Orleans.
Yeah,
there's places that still have never been rebuilt. It's pretty sad.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm excited for racing though.
Yeah, should be cool. Or it'll totally suck.
Either way, I'll be open about it on the podcast.
All right, fair enough.
Catch you a couple weeks.